Jim, always a pleasure. How's pre-season going?
Yeah, it's been good. Been tough, been warm, double days. But it's important that we get the work in and get the base fitness and gives us a chance for us to pick up on what the manager wants from us this season, laying down those foundations to start quickly.
We've come through the heat wave now. The gaffer did mention after the Cambridge game that there'd be no let up. How were the sessions for you, and do you think the lads got a lot out of them?
Yeah, I mean, it was just obviously with the heat you maybe don't do as intense a session, so they've been adapted, but they're still getting the same principles and the same points across that we need to work on, and hopefully as the pre-season comes to an end close at the start of the season, and everyone will see what we're trying to do and the patterns of play and stuff like that, and then we should be ready for the first game.
Positives and negatives from Cambridge. How does the gaffer and Ryan Harley sort of translate that to the players in terms of their analysis, and then in meetings, what's the communication style like? How do they get across their messages to take out onto the training ground?
All the messages, they're always the same in terms of what we want to achieve and the intensity we want to train at and play at, and we do a lot of video work, and we've started this week doing unit work as well, so the defenders will have a separate meeting from the midfielders and the wing backs and the strikers, and it's just that intensity and driving every day and wanting to get better, and it's certainly something that stood out for us as a squad. Ryan's a little bit different, where he'll just speak to individuals because we know he's played the game and we know what a good player he was, or if lads don't, they should, because he joins in as well, so he joins in training sometimes when the numbers aren't quite right, and you can see his qualities, so he sort of drips the manager's messages in that way as well, by sort of showing lads what the manager wants, and it's a good combination.
You mentioned the word intensity there, and I think that's probably one of the words that Notts fans would have synonymous with you in terms of your style of play. How much are you enjoying being part of Luke's style of play, and how beneficial do you think an intense approach could be for us this season?
Yeah, it's good, but it's just all down to really hard work. I mean, like these first few weeks, it's all about getting that base fitness so that you can go and work hard and bring that intensity, and there's no let up. The manager's made that clear, and I think from day one he's made his points clear about what he wants and the way he's going to go about it, and it's just a case of adapt or die, and being in the game long enough now to know that you just need to be able to adapt, and the lads have taken to it really well, and the standard in training's been high, pushing the standards and pushing that intensity in every day, and like I say, it's tough, but you've got to show up and you've got to be ready.
Some strong foundations built last season by the previous head coach and the players that were here last season. What do you think will look different to fans next season in terms of style of play?
I think our build-up is a little bit different. In terms of, we obviously played the back three last season, and the outside centre-halves were stepping in, whereas you might see the middle one of the three maybe stepping forward more this season to sort of draw people out. That's certainly one thing that's that the manager's brought. There's no rush to play, but once we do go, then we're certainly going, and as soon as we give the ball away, we've got to be getting it back. We've got to be ready to get it back, and we'll all be put in good positions and disciplined, so that when we do give the ball away in the opposition's half, that we can try and smother them. So hopefully those little messages that are getting dropped in every day become second nature by the time a match day comes, and that's the idea around it.
Club did a lot of transfer business early this window, so all the new signings have had the majority of pre-season to work with yourself and the other established players at the club. What have you made of them and the impact that they've had so far?
Brilliant, they've slotted in perfectly. They've not really took too long to come out their shell, which is always a big bonus. You've got different characters as well. Some lads are quieter than others, and it's just about me to try, and other lads try to bring them out their shell a little bit. But yeah, I mean it's always difficult going to a club when there's so many players who've been there the season before and trying to fit in. But I've got a few new lads, and like I say, they're nice lads and they want to work hard and they want to be here, and that's the most important thing.
You are the club's longest serving player, as we remind you
Every
often.
year.
You're certainly in that experienced player bracket now, aren't you, as well? And one thing that's been really noticeable for me at the friendlies so far is the amount of encouragement you've been giving to the likes of Brad McGregor and Lucien Mahova, who obviously are inexperienced and learning their trade and really putting in a good shift for us in pre-season. Just how much are you enjoying that role as sort of a leader out there and a role model to younger players?
Yeah, I don't really see it as a role. I just see it as the natural progression of things and the way you go about things. I mean, I'm maybe getting a little bit softer as I'm getting older and looking at the coaching side of things, and I think a couple of years ago maybe I'd been a bit more harsh, but I just think when you work with the boys a wee bit more regularly and you know what they're about and you know they want to work hard and you know they want to get better, you know, technical mistakes you can work on, but as long as they're seeing the right things or they're trying to do the right things, and you can hold your hands up and say, well, we can work on the technical side. At least the lads are seeing the pass, or you know, they maybe not played it properly. But in terms of Brad, we know what we're getting. We call him the rash. He turns up to training, he gets stuck in, gets in about people, and he's so young. So to have that intensity at that age is brilliant. And he came and played at Leicester and played 90 minutes pre-season, first week. That's tough. And he played 2 positions as well against a Premier League outfit. So at that point of view, no fault in him, and wears his heart on his sleeve. And then Lucien's only trained a couple of times with us as well. And like I said, at the weekend it was tough for him. He got changed positions, but he wasn't shying away from the ball. He always wanted it back, and like I said, he was always looking to do the right thing. So you can have you can step back a little bit and give him a little bit of praise so that he knows that the next time he does see that pass that it's on. So like I say, it's maybe just getting a little bit older and a little bit softer and starting to maybe think about how to work with young lads a little bit more and not just digging them out. But I'm sure there'll be plenty of opportunities this season where they will be getting dug out.
Congratulations are in order in terms of the coaching pathway for you. Just tell us a little bit about what you achieved recently.
Well, yeah, I just got my licence last season. I was when I signed last summer. It was one thing that I wanted to get sort of done going into the last year of my deal. So I was glad to get that sort of boxed off, and that's me. Got it now, and if and when the time comes that you need to use it, then I'll use it, and I've got it. So yeah, I was delighted to get it, but there's plenty of life left in the legs yet.
I was going to say, we had a chat, didn't we, at Baseford, and you know, I didn't get the sense that retirement was anywhere near in your thinking.
No, I mean, other people make you think about it. That's generally the way it goes, and I think since I've turned 30, then people start retiring at that age, and you just automatically get the experienced player shout, and I think experience comes with games. It's not your age, so yeah, I mean, take it, and lads will have a laugh about it and stuff, but if my body holds out, then I'll be happy to keep going. And you only need to look at somebody like Michael Doyle, who I think, you know, obviously playing with him and stuff like that, and seeing him day to day, and seeing the way he operates and goes about stuff, and he was big for me, and thinking, well, why not? Why can't you do that? And it's just it just takes a little bit longer to recover from games when you're a bit older. But no, I feel good and ready to go for another season.
I mean, hopefully it is many years before you do retire, but I just wonder if, when you do, would you like it to be here?
Yeah, I mean, I said that, like, I've said that to people run about that. I don't want to jinx myself either, but I don't want to keep coming down the levels and going part-time. I mean, I've spoke to lads who play part-time football, and they say it's really tough to get yourself motivated to go to the gym during the day, and then you're squeezing a week's worth of sessions into 2 sessions a week, and it's actually really tough to do. So I don't really want to do that. I'd rather play full time and then me make the decision when it's my time. But like I say, it's kind of tough to talk about. I've only half thought about it because I've got so much focus on this season and the hurt that we felt last year. So yeah, I've sort of been trying to use that as a sort of driving force forward and have a little bit of tunnel vision in that sense, and not think too far ahead, because football can bite you in the backside.
I was going to ask you about the disappointment of last season, and then it led me on to thinking that unfortunately there's been a lot of disappointment for you in terms of football here at Notts, yet you're still here, you're still motivated to play here, you want to stay here and potentially retire here. What position do you think the club is in at the minute in terms of having a platform to progress forward despite the disappointment we have faced over the last 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, it's such a better position than when I first came. Obviously I came to try and help us stay up, and didn't manage to do that. And we've just had sort of heartache at every turn, every time we've got there. And last season hurt because it was so late in the game as well. And to be fair, I've seen, you know, people's Instagram and stuff like that, and you see them celebrating, going up, and it's sore, like it is sore. After the Grimsby game, I don't think I spoke to anyone for about 3 days, just in my bed and doing my own thing, and curtains were shut. And yeah, I think we've got to use that, and we've got to use that to drive us forward. And it's not so much from a personal point of view. I think as a collective group, you feel as if you're sort of letting people down, like people in the office, the supporters, people that work, the ground staff, the office staff, people that work around the club, and put everything into supporting this club and doing the tough shifts every day. And we know how much the club means to those people, and you just sort of, your mind goes there first, and you feel as if you've let them down. And I think you've got to use that and springboard forward. But in terms of the club, it's in a much better position than when I first arrived. I mean, when I first arrived, we never had a training ground. We were sort of using other gyms around about the local area, and we've got all that now. We've got all that right here and down at Lady Bay. So it's certainly a great setup to sort of build on and go forward. And I think even when you're attracting players to the club, I think it's a good thing to have. It's a good tool to have, and we all know how well the club's run now in terms of the way it was. It's sort of night and day. So yeah, it's going in the right direction. It's just about us sort of putting that first little spark in, and we know where we want to go, and we know where we sort of need to be, and we need to be aiming for. And first week of pre-season, first day, and the manager sort of let us know that that's where we're going, and that's where we want to go. And if you want to come, be a part of it. If you don't, then if you're not going to work hard, you probably won't be.